Welcome to Planet MicroCap. I'm your host, Robert Kraft, and joining me right now is Eric Healy. He's the CEO of BranchOut Food. It's a publicly traded company. The symbol is BOF on NASDAQ. And BranchOut Food will be presenting at our upcoming investor conference, Planet MicroCap Showcase Toronto, in partnership with MicroCap Club, taking place October 21 through 23, 2025, at the Arcadian Loft in downtown Toronto. For more information, to register to meet with Eric and the team, please register to attend at planetmicrocapshowcase.com. And with that, Eric, thank you for joining me today. How are you doing?
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Happy to be
Absolutely.
here.
Absolutely. It's great to have you. This is actually our first time doing an interview together. So can you start us off with that quick overview and history of the company?
Yeah, sure. So let's see. I started the company a few years ago. We sort of officially launched right in the middle of 2020, but had been playing around with this new dehydration technology we're using, which is actually another company that's here with us, that's going to be at the event as well. But we basically built this whole company around Rev technology. So we saw the technology a few years ago and just really fell in love with the possibilities and what it can do. We see it as kind of superior to freeze dry. So that's really what we're trying to do is build a brand, build several other streams of business that are replacing freeze dry. We built out a factory down in Peru about a year ago. So we just opened it at the beginning of this year. We built it over the course of 2024. Started producing kind of late 24, early kind of Q1 of 20 of this year, and it's just been crazy ever since trying to keep up with orders. So it's been a whirlwind kind of last 18 months, but we're catching up. We now have the largest Rev facility in the world down there. We have three production lines. We're able to do about 40 metric tons a year in dried fruits and vegetables, essentially. And we have another fourth line that we're installing probably first half of next year that will grow that even further. So this year has been, we've essentially doubled revenue every year since we started. Last year we did roughly 6 million without a plant, just kind of co-packing and doing, finding capacity where we can. But this year, in our plant, we'll probably end up around 14 million. We'll see where the year ends up, but we think 14, maybe 15 million. And we think we're going to keep growing hopefully at that rate. So our business is kind of broken up into three different categories. We have our branded retail, which is primarily this year is primarily Costco, but next year we're going to expand that into many other grocery chains as well. We have the private label line, so we have a lot of private label that we do for Walmart and some other retailers. That looks like it's already set to grow next year with some new retailers coming on. And then we have our ingredient channel. So we have a great partnership there with a major ingredient company that we'll do that'll be probably 2 million this year, 2 to 3 million, and we think we'll get to 5 or 6 next year with them. So yeah, that's real brief overview, a lot there, but that's a bit about who we are.
Absolutely. So, I mean, look, it's a very competitive market, just snacks in general, food, CPG market, what have you. So, what would you say makes Branch Out Foods products unique and different compared to some of your peers out there?
Yeah, so it's a great question. So we've seen this dehydrated, freeze dried or air dried. Those are kind of the two legacy technologies out there. That space has been around forever. In our opinion, those technologies just don't really answer for what the consumer is looking for. They both have significant kind of quality and cost problems to them. So this technology we think is the answer. It essentially provides more nutritional content, more flavor is captured, better color retention. So it's just really designed to essentially, if you put fresh fruit in one side, you get a shelf-stable dried fruit out the other side, or vegetable that's in a very snackable format. So it preserves all those features of the food a lot better, and it's substantially lower cost than freeze dried as well. So that's always been one of the big problems is it just the current freeze dried technology is too expensive. So we're using it across all those different business platforms I mentioned, but really, our end goal is to build a national brand around this technology. So we think it's really the first technology that delivers a dried fruit or vegetable that is, appropriately snackable. It's actually a good product that you want to continue to eat. So that's the goal.
Absolutely. And what's your background prior to Branch Out?
Yeah, so my couple things. My family's been in the natural food business for forever, for decades, having started Kettle Brand Kettle Chips. So it's a multi-billion dollar multinational brand now. Kona Brewery, they started that as well. So that's was acquired by Anheuser-Busch a few years ago. And my personal background, I was an aerospace engineer, so I worked at Boeing, some other aircraft companies, and then kind of jumped into the family business. My family started another cookie line, not nearly as well known as those others, but I kind of jumped out of my career and decided to help them out for a few years, and we built that up. And it was pretty. We got into about probably 10,000 retail doors across the U.S. and sold it to a private equity group. So smaller company, but learned a lot about the CPG world and what to do, and maybe more importantly, what not to do, who not to work with, things like that. So, then started Branch Out, and here we are.
I have to ask, being that it's the family business and your family was there with helping create Kona and Kettle Chips, what do they think about this? The trend of dehydrated foods and then Branch Out in particular.
Yeah, I think
Curious.
I talk to them all the time about it. They're excited for me. My uncle is the one that did those two businesses, and I'm very close to him and talk to him about it all the time. So they're excited and impressed, I think, and I get to lean on them all the time for advice or whatever I need. So it's pretty great.
Listen, I thought I'd ask, right? I mean, of course they're going to be, support you and be proud of you, it's family and whatnot. But, just from their own expertise, just seeing all this too it's pretty fascinating, kind of crazy. What a crazy lineage, dude. That's so cool.
Yeah, yeah, appreciate it.
Yep. So close us out here today from what you can tell us. What then would you say are some of the company's value catalysts, milestones, and goals for the rest of 25 going into 26?
Yeah, good question. I think so. It's a little complex, but this year, we opened the factory, right? So we opened the factory with a backlog of orders, so that's definitely a good problem to have. But the whole year, we started out, we built this. We were literally producing orders while the paint was still drying in some areas of the factory, while we were still getting things going. So there was a very heavy learning curve this year. We probably scaled up a dozen different products over the last 9 months. I think there was a lot invested in that. So a lot of investment went into not only the CapEx. I mean, we built out this state-of-the-art facility, but just qualifying products, building out a supply chain, building the team. We have about 200 employees down in Peru now, and getting them all to learn this new technology, how to operate it, and just kind of it's kind of a work of art to run these machines and get these products to come out the way they do. So a lot of R&D and scale up efforts went in this year. But what we've learned is now that's kind of behind us. There'll be some of that still, but all of our core products are pretty well dialed in, I'd say. September, we just had our record month, so we produced 38,000 kilograms of product. It's still far from what we believe our capacity is, but we just kind of rough numbers for September, we were about at break even. So that's super exciting. We think we can grow from there pretty quickly. We have a lot of stuff coming on next year. So yeah, I mean, a lot of kind of, we also airshipped a lot of products this year. So we had full Costco orders that we had to airship up so there's a lot of kind of startup related costs that I think are going to be going away. So that's, I'd say, a major milestone is just we kind of get that behind us. We start having some of these consecutive months where we're, at or above break even. So yeah.
Very, very good. All right. Well, Eric, with that, where can our audience go and find more information about Branch Out Food?
Yeah, branchoutfood.com. That's the main place, or all the socials.
All right. Well, Eric, thank you so much for joining me today. Really do appreciate it. Good luck. Stay safe. And I'll see you next week in Toronto.
Perfect. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.